Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And we're doing a quick card today. Yeah, we're using these from my haul yesterday. I haven't poked that one out yet. So as I explained yesterday, I bought two just to make it easier, and I think they're only like $1 each, so it didn't really bother me. So we've got these little heart swirly borders, and what they do is they cut out the heart apertures, and they also put stitching. I'm going to see if I can get it up on my camera here. They put a stitch and an emboss there, which is really lovely. So I decided to do it into a circle, and I decided on a circle for a reason. So let's colour it, and I'll explain as I go along. Right, there's my scruffy mat, there's my die. I've got this foam that I must have used on a myriad horrible things, but I'm using hickory smoke, I'm using weathered wood, and I'm using lost shadow. So the first colour that I want to go in with is, I think, hickory smoke, just a little bit of that. So just kind of keeping it on the edges and just a little bit random, and then if I need to use a bit more I will. Right, well, that's looking good so far. So I've got that, and now I just want to push that out just a little bit. So I don't want it too dark. Do you know what I mean? Are you starting to see this? Well, you've probably seen the image right up at the beginning. Right, now I'm going into my weathered wood. And even though it's not Halloween, I'm creating a moon. So I just want to run a lot of this out. Ooh, I had some on my finger. So we've got an error happening already. Let me get another foam so I can just rub that lot out. Okay, so what I should have done is remembered that this, I've complained about this one before, is the pad that leaks. It leaks a ton of ink. So now I'm going into my lost shadow, and I'm loading loads and loads of that up. And I'm going here, and I want to pull in all of that colour into the middle. Now, as I said, I have made a terrible mistake there, but I'm hoping that it's going to be covered up. Now, Lost Shadow is kind of a much warmer colour than those other greys. So hopefully it's going to soften some of my edges. Now I'm pretty sure that if I pop that back onto here, it's still going to be too saturated, even though I do want that colour in it. So let's see what I get when I do it. See, I've just picked it up and it's gone everywhere again. So now I'm just going to switch out and use this. And I think I'm just extremely lucky that my error has gone into that one area. Now I'm going to use this just to pick this bit up. And then I'm going to check my fingers. Right, so I do want it to be that way. And it is meant to be darker on this side. So it could be that if I just pick this up very carefully and just tap, I can get my craters going. I just want it sort of like speckled. I hope you can see that. But I want it even less speckled down here, so I've got to be very careful. So I'm just dabbing it very lightly just to get the effect that you get when you're looking at the moon. Right, and then I want to take it further in some places, so got a little bit carried away there. But I am creating a moon. Yeah, why not? And then just very lightly in some of these other places. I'm going to go a bit there. And I'm going to go a bit there. And I'm hoping that that looks, you know, like a moon. But with the excess that I've got on here now, I just want to go around the edges and darken it. I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the way. So this could be Valentine or birthday, what I'm doing here. And if you've got a little rocket ship, you could certainly pop it on there. Right, oh, look at all that there. Doesn't that look lovely? Right, I'm just going to pause while I clean my mess. Okay, so I tidied my mess up, and this is our little moon. You can see here, that's where I made my error, but I'm going to be able to cover that. But isn't that cute? I like that. So, we're off to the moon, and I've done 2 other circles. You can just use any circle that you've got. And I cut one in red. Now that's showing really bright on here, but I promise you it's not. It's kind of a dark red. It's a Swiss dot, and it's the basil cardstock from Joanne. And I also cut another white circle, and I just scored it 2 inches down. So this is going to go onto here. So now I've got all red hearts in my moon, and I need to glue that on. So I've got my glue here. And I haven't got my precision tip on, so I'm going to be a little bit careful. I don't need to glue around all those holes. Just need a little bit, you know, in those spaces just to make sure that it's fixed. And I haven't got much glue there actually, so I need to correct that. Oh, a little couple of blibs there. Right, this needs to glue right down on top of that circle. So I'm just going to pick that up. I'm going to stand it on the edge. Make sure it's fine all the way around. And then give it a squeeze. Now, my ink is still a bit damp, I have to say. Because you know me and my humidity, I'm always complaining about it. But I've got my baby wipe that I was tidying up with before. I just want to get that off. Right. And now I want to bond onto here. And you know how I do my little easel cards. Now this would rock unless you chop off a little piece at the bottom. So just a note about that. So make sure that you're getting your hearts where you want them when you're putting your back on. So my hearts are all faced upright. Just make sure you slide it across. And we give that a rub. So it will stand up. I've got a little bit of ooze there. Let's use this. So now we've got our hearts and we've got our moon, and I've also printed a sentiment, which is this one: I love you to the moon and back. So I'm just going to pop some foam onto here, and this is just Dollar Tree foam tape. So I'm going to try and get it as close to the edge as possible. And I'm going to trim that off and put some on this side. I hope everyone's going to have a great day today. We've had a few cold nights actually, and I've just been running around like a headless chicken with my fleece blankets. I get fleece blankets from IKEA when they're on sale. They usually do them for $1 each, and then I just put them all over my plants. It looks quite pretty actually, with a bunch of stainless steel clips, and it keeps them all warm. Right, so now I just need to peel the backs off my tape, and look at how quick this was. I mean, I did run away and clean my scruffy mat, but that was no big deal. But you don't necessarily have to put this straight across if you don't want to. But I want to cover my little error. And I'm just going to go there. I love you to the moon and back. So instead of having craters for the moon, we've actually got hearts. And I really like that. I mean, if you've got the stamp, I love you to the moon and back, or the sentiment. And I think I do have the sentiment, but it just says to the moon and back. But see how that rocks? So to get over that, you find out where your bottom is. I'm using scissors, and you shouldn't. You should use your guillotine. And all you have to do is just trim a tiny slither off there. And that will stop your card from rocking. It will just stand straight up without any movement. So I really like that. And it covered up my error. And it does look very cratery, very moony. So if you're ever looking for ways, you know, to use your ink blending foams to do different things, just use them as, you know, gentle dabbers. And it's better to use your hands than to have them on the actual wooden doodah, because you can have lighter pressure that's more controlled. Right, I thank you so much for joining me today. I do hope once again that you have an absolutely fabulous day, and as usual, all links below. Bye.